Hello ladies and gentlemen, and welcome back to some more Dominions 5 of the Multiplayer Showdown. It's turn 28, episode 28 with the series here. I am still on vacation for this other turn, but this will be the last turn I do while I'm gone. And Chris will not be joining me again for this one, but that's okay because it's just been a kind of, these last two turns have been a lot of moving around troops and just a lot of speculating as various things unfold throughout the world, and I'm going to go over everything I did. There's not a whole lot here, so this should be really quick. And we'll start off with some of the messages here. So we did finish our research in evocation and alteration. We've got some messages here we're going to read in a second. We got some more Mandragoas, so we're going to keep building those every turn. We did not find any magic sites, and then we have some battles to go through, and some of these that don't really matter. We did finish the fortress, which is great. And we'll take a look at that province in a second. And then we moved our units off of the fortification, a moss flower, so that doesn't really matter. It ticked over and then they moved. So let's start with our message here. Man says, and this is for Miklan, Utgard, and Pythium. This says, greetings Miklan, Utgard, and Pythium. We bear ill news. Midgard launched a surprise attack across the lake and has defeated the flower of our forces as we were trying to wrest a throne location from them. Now that they have a new prophet, their forces are expected to now return to the long coast and attempt to take the other thrones they can access from there and gain ascension. These thrones are either under your control or within your grasp, the Wardens of Avalon. So that's kind of nerve-wracking a little bit because we haven't put any pressure on Midgard and neither has Utgard yet. And if Midgard's still trying to go for a throne rush, it's pretty obvious where they're going to go. And I mean, I know exactly where they're going. They think they're going to lose, so they're going to try to meet us on the battlefield of the Pantricator or whatever it is, because that's where they're definitely going. I mean, if I was Midgard, well, I'll explain once I get inside the game. We got a message from Miklan. He said, what's your situation with Utgard? I know he wanted the Midgard throne. He has an enormous army, so be careful. So, yes, he is right about that. And it's interesting for Miklan to message me, and for Man to message Miklan, because I actually would have viewed Miklan as an enemy, but I guess kind of like the enemy of my enemy is my friend, essentially, because Midgard's going for a throne rush still, or he's still trying to play really aggressive for the thrones, which is fine, because that's what you do for the game, but people are picking up on it, and obviously they don't want to win, because that's also what you do for the game, is stop people from winning, so people are really trying to beat up on Midgard, and I guess maybe Miklan isn't as friendly with Midgard, or maybe like a bond union thing going on, like I had previously mentioned last turn, because of the fact that Midgard's trying to win the game. So we've got a couple, but we haven't seen Miklan and Midgard fight yet, so we don't really know the actual claims to that. I do want to go through and see if any of these are actual battles. This is Miklan and Ulm. Looks like it's just a small force taking on what appears to be a very small province defense force. This area here has gone back and forth for quite some time now. That is the throne. There's a throne there on Witch Grove. It's gone between Midgard, Ulm, Miklan, which is really funny because it's like I'm pretty sure it's a 1-point throne, so I don't know why it's so heavily coveted, but it is. We've got Dark Wisteria, which is here. Oh, wow. So Ulm does have a large force still on standby. Oh, this is going to be a good battle. So this is Ulm's major force fighting with Miklan's major force. Ooh, this is exciting. This is the first battle I've caught with a scout that I've actually wanted to like heavily watch. So what do we got here? We've got a couple of slaves up in the front for whatever reason. Just cannon fodder, province defense more than likely. A bunch of warriors. They've got their turkeys there, their jaguar warriors. These jaguar warriors with Ulm's with the blessing here is gonna be absolutely brutal, but don't shrug Ulm off just yet because they've got a lot of rangers there, and if they've got any good like fire arrows or anything there, those rangers are gonna be deadly. And they've got a very strong blessing as well, with a lot of Black Templar off to the side and a lot of wolves in the front that are gonna go ahead and just clash with these warriors and probably chew right through them. More than likely, especially because the wolves they hit the wolves with something there. Divine Blessing, Swarm. Ooh, somebody's casting Wooden Warriors. I think that's over here. Solto. Not really sure if that's a... I don't know who cast that. I would assume it's I'm going to go ahead and say that it's Mictlan casting that. And we've got a lot of slaves being sacrificed. I completely forgot about the undead horde. If this army can pump out skeletons like that one army was doing, they're gonna really... I mean, Mictlan... I'm gonna give my opinion right now in the beginning, before we finish watching this. Mictlan's probably going to win because of their blessing. Their blessing is just ridiculous. But Ulm can probably take down a lot of Mictlan with them. If Ulm loses this is their main force that we had heard about in the message from Man last time. If Ulm loses this force, then it'll be game over for them. They won't recover. So this is really important for them. I'm surprised that the Rangers are rushing right up. They got axes. You would think they would have taken a lot more. Oh, there they go. They're just getting within range. They're taking the crossbow shots now. We're seeing some beetles come up. And a few imps. So some blood magic there. Oh, yeah. Critters just being cast all over. Whose are these? Who's casting these? Casting swarm. I'm gonna say it's these guys. Yes. Blood Priest, they're casting swarm. So we've got horde of skeletons and we've got swarm popping up. Wow. That's a lot of crossbows, but it ain't gonna help them. Those Jaguar warriors are not even taking hardly any damage. They're coming right in fast. They've got that quickness, so they're gonna close this gap hard. The furs and the leather cap really don't give them the leather cap don't give them a whole lot of protection, but it gives them enough. Got units dropping down in here. These guys are turning, which is really gonna suck for them. They're trying to fight these swarms, but they haven't really been able to close in. And then these guys in the back I forgot that these guys dropped in. I didn't even see that actually happen. I missed that, but they've got the Black Templar here, so they're gonna do all right with that. The Blood Surge and their withering weapons. A lot of these guys dropping in and dropping back out, but here we go. Here's the main Jaguar force. I'm actually curious who's gonna hold up these Black Templars or the Jaguars. It would appear as it stands right now that the Jaguars they're doing pretty good. Boy, these imps dropping in are really... Wow. I mean, these are weak units, but it just sucks because it wastes attacks from enemies trying to have to deal with that. Yeah, there's nothing even going on back here. All the fighting is on Ulm's side. Ulm is definitely going to fold in half here in a second. I'm almost positive Ulm's going to lose this. I'm seeing Black Templar dropping now as they get encircled. They keep having to turn around and fight these imps, and it's wasting their attacks on imps when they need to be fighting the Jaguars ahead. God, there's a lot of arrows flying. Oh yeah, they've almost got the rear here mopped up. These Rangers won't last. They'll fold. They'll fold as soon as the Jaguars get to them. Yep, Ulm has definitely lost this. Wow. Boy, this is not good. This is not good. I'll have to send this to Chris. He's got to watch this. I don't know how you're going to counter that bless with the Jaguars. Ulm had a decent chance, but he lost it. That's definitely going to be the death of Ulm. The only way you could stop Ulm from not folding and dying off would be if somebody attacked Mictlan, but I don't know who's going to hold up against that. It's very, very powerful. Beautiful. That was a lot of fun. I was kind of rooting for Ulm a little bit. I just wanted to see him. I don't know. I always root for the little guy, but it didn't work out like that. We had an unexpected event. This was for us here. It was in a water province. We ended up just losing this province here. We only had a... I'm not even going to watch it. We lost it, so we lost the province. And then we lost our scout here. I believe. Province defense. What's going on here? Yeah, it was a province defense that they caught our scout. And then the construction of the fortress. So let's go ahead and actually go into the game here. You can see we lost that province. It's okay. I've actually gone ahead and turned these guys around to attack that province. The battle for Ulm happened here. And Yeah, that's definitely going to be the death of Ulm. At this point, they won't be able to fight on, even with only a one front battle with Miquelon, because they're probably not fighting Midgard anymore. Remember, Man said that Midgard had attacked here in Highwatch and beat back his forces, and he's got a pretty large force with a new prophet. And he figures he's going to head to wherever he needs to reclaim thrones to try to go for victory, because Midgard thinks he's going to die, so if he can like snipe a victory, it would be glorious for him. And I'm sure that's what he wants to do. So that's why Man sent that message out. Now, what I wanted to talk about before, but then I'd said I'd wait until I got in the game, is that we've got this area here undefended. It is a 3-point throne. We do have a fortress on it that would hold up for, you know, at least a turn or two, but I'm getting a little nervous here. Now, they've got 1, 2, 3, 4. So Midgard still has 4 points. They've only need the throne of the Pantocrator to win the game. And I would almost guess that after defeating the army in Highwatch and making sure that that throne is safe, and then also moving forces onto Moss Flowers, which we ended up moving off of just as these 60 enemy units moved onto, Vanguard is going to go again for this throne. He's going to land on this throne. It's a definite. I'm positive. I'm 100% positive that he's going to land on this throne. And he's going to try to take it because that would guarantee his victory. It's his only chance. If he doesn't take this throne, he loses. This is the throne he needs to win. So we've got to secure that throne. So anything else we were doing is completely worthless compared to holding this throne. So much so that I'm half tempted to not move these guys into Rhine's Shallows and to move them up to Ruin of Boat Murder to try and have more forces to defend this. Either way, I originally did the turn before I started recording, and then I thought more about it and realized what's going on, and I've got to move these forces all back. There's no way that they're safe in Gornahor. They need to be at least within 1 turn distance of here so they can break the siege when Midgard gets here. I imagine Midgard will land on this next turn. There's really probably not even any reason having the province defense out there. The only thing that's going to stop Midgard is if Utgard here takes Moss Flowers, which they'll definitely beat those 60 Ictide warriors. I mean, they're definitely going to crush them. But will they be able to siege down the fort and take the throne in time before Midgard has this? Now, I could probably beat Midgard's force, I think. By the time that moment comes, Chris will be here to help me kind of move things along. And I'm going to send him this turn as well so he can look it over and he can make some changes as well. And then he can give his 2 cents on what he thinks he wants to do. But yeah, this is going to be bad. I know this army's definitely... I'm going to move in and I want to see this battle. I'm pretty sure that army's going to crush Midgard there. If he can take that, then Midgard can't even win even if he has this throne. And I know Man and Utgard... Man's putting pressure here. Utgard might put pressure here. Ulm's out of the game now for the most part. You know, unless he makes some comeback like I made last time. Let me go ahead and change up. There's really not a whole lot going on here. I'm just moving units around, searching for magic sites. I do want to take this back, I think, for the income. Like, don't even remember what it was giving us, but I still think I want the income. There's not a whole lot of forces here that are really going to turn the tide. But maybe, I don't know. We've got a lot of forces here. A lot. And I've already got them all ready to go. I moved units down and whatnot. Let me go ahead and move these guys. I really think I should move them so they're at least within a turn of being able to do that. And I would say that I'm going to want to move the forces off of Pythium as well. There's communions that need to be made. But I'll send this turn off to Chris and I'll let him mess around with that because believe it or not, I don't have a whole lot of hours in the game, but I have I've played it. But I've never really heavily messed with Communions or like Blood Magic or anything like that. That goes to show you how big Dominions 5 is. There's just a lot of different things that I'm not 100% familiar with. So before I submit the turn, I'll make my moves that I think things should be happening, and then I'll send the turn to Chris, and I'll let him kind of tweak some things, and I'll let him build the Communions and move them around to where they got to go. So he's very good at all that. And then, which the Communion's just gathering the right amount of forces, but he's very familiar with the magic and how much, you know, you need to do what. And I'll let him do all that, and then I'll submit the turn. Since I don't have to, submitting the turn, just sending the email in, so I don't even have to really have a good internet or any internet connection to really do all that. So I can just send him the turns. He can do his thing, and then he can email it back to me, and then I can submit it. Without having to play it out, so no problem there. I will go ahead and move units within one turn of here, and I'll explain to him what I think is going to happen in an email, so he understands. I think he understands why I'm moving them up. We've got Worm Feast here. He's got more Mandragoa, and we've got a couple of Hydras and Cataphracts. We're going to need every unit we can get. How many? Let's see, we're recruiting more there. We got a ton of Pegasus, a lot of Hydras, not as many Cataphracts as I'd like, honestly. Yeah, all those Pegasus though, which will help. Boy. I'm gonna say, and then we're gonna want to obviously use Foul Vapors, and because that'll help us. Foul Vapors and let's see. Oop. We might go for enchantment level 7, but we're not worried about it now. No, I'm sorry, not Foul Vapors. We will want Foul Vapors. We are going to use Foul Vapors. We've already talked about using that because it's going to help a lot. Using Foul Vapors and casting something that provides more poison resistance, but we're going to use Rigor Mortis and Relief. And I'd say that we're going to end up using those to fight Vanheim, although these guys are probably too far away at this point. Even if I grabbed all of them, they could head to Pythium, actually. I may let Chris handle that, and I'll explain to him in the email that we've got to get those things, or I'll even text him on Discord and explain to him we got to get those things moving up. These guys are close enough, and then we've got plenty of magic between all the Serpent Priests and stuff that shouldn't be an issue. We've even got people with Astral here. Lahar has some Astral. And Ishmun and Shash has Astral. He's moving there. We're going to switch both these units. So Adapa and Worm Feast, they're actually both going to move here. For sure. And we're getting more Mandragoa. No, definitely move there. I think the swamp and then attacking into here is the best bet, because then everybody can go at once into one big pack. I was moving the Serpent Priest down here. I wanted to search for magic sites. You know what? I was going to attack this water province, and Utgard might take this out from underneath us, and that'll really suck, but protecting the throne is more important at this point. Because if Vanguard, or like I said, if Midgard takes that, if we don't have the forces to beat Midgard, then they win if Utgard doesn't siege us down and take that throne beforehand. And even if they do, Midgard's going to be in a perfect position to just drive right into the heart of us, and it'll be our main force dead, so we won't be able to really fight back. Especially if we lose our chance at making Hydras, because this place is getting sieged, or we lose it, or we lose our capital or whatnot. And we haven't gotten our god yet either. It's only 3 Hydras, some Cataphracts, and some Mandragoa, but god, it can make all the difference. Well, we could even go straight there, so it's almost possible. We wouldn't be able to head there from Rin's Shallows to there, but we'd be close enough. If Midgard takes that, it'd be 1 turn 1. We'd have to move from here to Ruin of Boat Murder, or to here. So it'd be 3 turns. It might take us a turn to move everything up. He won't have this siege down probably for at least 3 or so turns because it's so large. 30 slingers, recruitment point bonus 75. 15, wall integrity 250. $750. He actually really built that up. He built High Watch up a lot. He actually built all these up. Huh. Well, he wasn't messing around. That's why they're so hard to siege down. I don't have the gold to build it up. I don't know. Part of me thinks that these guys would get there in time, but I also think that if Midgard attacks this, we've got to re-counter at least within 1 to 2 turns. If it was 2 turns, then we'd be able to send these forces in to help. But if we think, I mean, he won't siege it down in 1 turn. There's no way. No way his force is going to be large enough or have enough sieging power to do that. So we could probably take this real quick, and then we can come back and hit that. I'll let Chris think that over too as well, and we'll discuss it. So yeah, I think I've got everything I pretty much can cover. There's not a whole lot really to go over aside from what I think Midgard's going to do and where I think things are going. So I guess this was a decently long episode after all, because I had a lot of thinking going over here. You know, at this point I'm just kind of in the dark with some things. I don't know how fast Utgard will siege this down, but I think it'll be fairly quick. It's not a full castle. It was the only one that, it looks like it's the only one that Midgard did not upgrade all the way with the walls and make a castle. So that's good. So I think Utgard will take this down fairly quickly, at least within 2 turns or so, maybe quicker. He's got a huge army here. I don't know what the siege power is of some of these, but I think he could take it fairly fast. So even if Midgard takes this throne, it may not guarantee him victory, but I know it'll really hurt us. And we got to be in a position to be able to take it back. If we can catch Midgard's army here at this throne, if we can actually catch his army and destroy it, Man said that was pretty much his only like major army with his prophet. So if he catches prophet with our Pegasus and kill his prophet and catch his army and destroy it, then that leaves the door open for Man to make another push and make a comeback. That'll be really good, and I'll probably send a message off to Das letting him know after we catch his army, if he's not already watching, which I'm sure Man has a scout here and he's already watching, which is somewhat why I'm not patrolling here, because I don't want to catch Man's scout, because I think I want him to see what happens to Midgard's army, so that way he knows how to react as well, because I think he's already watched that, so I know he's already got a scout there. Yeah, and then if we take Midgard's main army out, at least we know there won't be very many forces over here to deal with, and then we can maybe consider using both of our manuals of underwater breathing, which we now have a lab here, and we'll have a temple here shortly. We're actually going to have it next turn. So then we can, which I didn't mention, we're actually building a temple, so then we can grab the manuals of underwater breathing right from here if we want to head up and try to hit Midgard instead of worrying about this, because now I think that that's more of an option than it was before. We could take this throne or something. So this will be interesting. This will definitely be interesting. I'm sure Midgard's going to go for this. Why wouldn't he at this point? But actually, his forces, if his forces are at High Watch, he just took High Watch. I think he has to be on a coastal province to be able to cross it. He can't just cross. No, he can't just cross from High Watch to here. He's got at least one turn going to Flat Plenty here, and then from Flat Plenty he'll cross here. So you know what? We do have plenty of time. So yeah, I will make this move here, because these guys can take this back. Then they can move back. By then, that'll be the turn. Once they're doing the turn of moving back, that'll be the turn when he's crossing over. And then from here, we've already determined that they can go like that. So that's perfect. So we'll go ahead and take that. And then that also gives me, let's see, 1, 2, that gives me about 2 turns to be able to take all these, have Chris start moving all these units and all of our astral units and stuff, getting all the Cominions built, and then we'll have all the units here ready to strike. So as soon as Midgard hits this throne, which I'm almost 100% positive he's got to, right? Because it's his only path to victory. Especially, he's going to start sweating bullets, because he only holds this so long as Utgard hasn't sieged the fortress. So if Utgard's sitting here and he's sieging, Midgard's going to have like bullets sweating, because he knows that if he loses this, he's not going to get it back from Utgard. There's no way. It's a huge force. He's not going to be able to fight man, fight me, and also get this throne back from Utgard, meaning that he has to take this within the next like 3 turns or it's game over. So this could actually work out really good. He's going to sacrifice everything to take this throne. And if we destroy his army, that'll be pretty much it, at least. I mean, I don't know how much man has left, though. You know, if man can't make a big push, then it may not help. And Utgard's army's too far at this point from really heading down here, making a huge difference. You know, he's got several turns of traveling just to get down here to be able to attack. I don't know. Boy, a lot to talk about. All right, so I'll go ahead and I'm going to send this turn off to Chris and have him review it all over really good and explain to him my stuff as well. And then he'll make a couple difference here. And you guys won't see that, obviously, because I'm just going to go ahead and submit the turn. I won't have internet by the time that all happens, because I'm getting ready to leave my hotel to head to another place where I won't have internet. So, but that's okay, because he'll probably just, I mean, the bulk of the changes are here. Most of this is going to stay. He may just make some changes with the priests and getting them all set up, and the communions and such, and getting them moving out to where they need to go. And then you'll see that in the next turn where we've kind of moved it all, and I'll explain it so you're not so left in the dark. But I want to thank you all for joining me. I do hope that you've enjoyed it, and I look forward to seeing you next time.